It's David Hooper. This is Build a Big Podcast, the marketing podcast for podcasters. This is a quick episode about headphones, specifically things that you should know about headphones. A lot of podcasters come to me and they ask about really expensive headphones that they see people wearing. They think that if they've got these headphones, it's going to make them a better podcaster. That is not the case. In fact, good headphones, the kind that cover your ears, those actually might make you a worse podcaster. I want to get into that. First of all, let me say this. I'm not wearing headphones right now. And there are three reasons why. One, I'm alone. There's no guest for me to hear. I don't need to respond to anything. Two, my production process for this podcast, it doesn't require me to hear anything. Everything is put in after the fact. If I wanted to put clips in, or an intro, or an outro, that comes in post-production. So I'm not playing off anything that you're hearing. All that comes afterwards. The third thing is that I'm on the mic. And this is important to you if you are a beginning podcaster. I'm able to stay on the mic without headphones and know that my voice is being recorded the proper way because I've got years of experience doing this. Even if you don't need to hear anything other than yourself, headphones can help you make sure that you're properly mic'd. If you're somebody who likes to move his head around and move around and you're bouncing up and down all throughout your studio as you're doing your podcast, it might help you to have headphones. It's a reminder, hey, stay on the mic. With all this said, I do wear headphones a lot of the time. And I either wear cheap earbuds, the cheapest you can get, the kind you could find on eBay or Amazon for $2.99. Or if I am wearing over-the-ear headphones, and I've got some good headphones. For example, I've got some Sony headphones. I don't remember the model number offhand. These are the ones that everybody and his brother use. They're very good headphones. They're big. They sound amazing. When I wear those, I do that in a certain way. I keep one of them slightly off the ear so I can monitor my own voice as it comes out of my mouth, not as I hear it through the headphones. You'll often see this happen with singers in the studio. If you're watching a video of somebody in a recording studio, a singer, she's going to have one headphone on, one headphone off. And the reason that happens, the reason why people do that, is because we're used to hearing our voices in a certain way. And that certain way at its most basic essence is that without headphones and without processing, it's not normal for us to hear our voice as it comes out on a podcast, through a microphone, through compression, through a limiter, through an enhancer, through EQ. I used to wear headphones, the full-on over-the-ear kind. This is when I started in radio, and I didn't know how to adjust for them because I was used to hearing my voice, like I'm saying, without the processing, without headphones, without EQ. I've got a loud voice coming in that's boomy, it's compressed, it sounds radio. It helped me keep on the mic, but because I was used to monitoring myself in a certain way without the headphones, and then I had the headphones on, that threw everything off. So I ended up shouting. I was coming in strong. I was trailing off because everything was compressed, and it wasn't very good. That is the reason that I tell most new podcasters, and even experienced ones, don't worry about expensive headphones. It's one thing if you're mixing. It's one thing if you're at live events, and I'll get into live events in just a second. But if you're recording, if you want to hear your authentic voice coming through, it may be best for you, either one, not to wear headphones, two, wear cheap headphones where there's still outside sound coming into your ears, much like you normally hear, and your ear isn't completely covered up. The third thing, if you must wear headphones, and sometimes it's helpful to, sometimes you'll be in a studio where they've got headphones for you, take one of them off. Keep the volume down so there's no bleed through into the mic. Put one of them slightly off center so when you're hearing, you can hear your natural voice coming through, and adjust your performance based on that raw, non-processed sound coming through your ear rather than the processed sound of your headphones. Here is the exception. This is why you want to wear headphones. If you are doing a live event for your podcast, something with crowd noise, even if somebody is next to you, it can be very difficult to hear what somebody is saying. Sometimes it's very difficult to hear yourself. I talked about on my other podcast, Red Podcast, I was doing a speaking presentation in an extremely loud room. It was a music manufacturing conference. I had stacks of guitar amps on one side of the stage, drums on the other. I couldn't hear myself. It was unbelievably noisy. It was so noisy, in fact, that the audience was hearing me via headphones. So they're hearing me, but I'm not hearing myself. I didn't have that monitor. And I got up there and I freaked out, man. Maybe a minute in, started having a cold sweat come over me. Forgot my presentation, had a panic attack on stage. Wasn't pretty. Headphones would have helped in that situation. I was at a club doing a live event one time, a live broadcast with a panel up on stage. You've got an audience. They're not paying attention to you, really. They're talking. You've got a bar going, glasses clanking. You've got beer bottles knocking up against each other. You've got cash registers, people laughing, a lot of distractions. I was right next to people, and I could not hear them. I couldn't hear them locally. I couldn't hear them right next to me. And I couldn't hear them through the sound system that we were broadcasting ourselves over, just a normal PA system. Headphones would have helped that. Monitors would have helped that. And eventually that's what we did. We had the wedges in front of us because it was a band situation. It was a music business related thing. And I said, hey man, let me get something in the wedge so I can hear myself. Second part of it, great. First part of it, not so good. It's difficult to respond to a guest if you cannot hear them. The other thing about a situation like that is if you're doing something at a live event, let's say it's a sporting event, a lot of people around, headphones actually keep you from shouting. You might have seen these live broadcasts and they're shouting into the mic. Hey, everybody, what do you think about New Year's Eve? Are you ready for a big year? And somebody in the crowd will say, yes, I'm ready for a big new year. It's going to be great. And they're shouting at each other because there's so much noise around them. Well, headphones would help that. It's kind of weird because if you're interviewing somebody and they don't have headphones, you need to be at their level. But if it's you and some other commentator, maybe you're doing something like a football game. Well, what do you think about that play, George? Well, that was great, Biff. It was fantastic. He just really ran the ball and he took it down there and got in the end zone. It was fantastic. In that case, you've got a co-host situation. You really need headphones. And that's what you'll see if you watch something like Monday Night Football. Those guys have the big headphones. They're noise isolating and they've got the mics right in front of them. So they are always mic'd and you can always hear them because it's in that situation. So anyway, that's my thought on the headphones. Bottom line for most podcasters, if you're in a quiet environment, just get some earbuds, $2.99. You're good to go. And that's if you even need headphones. Get used to being on the mic, right in front of the mic. Like I said, I'm not using headphones for this right now. You haven't had any problem, but you can hear when I'm stepping away from the mic, walking around my studio, even though as small as it is, I'm still off the mic. Don't do that. So make sure you're in the habit of staying on the mic. Headphones will help you in that situation. But it's good to be flexible. You want to be able to work with headphones. You want to be able to work without headphones. So that's why I'm telling you, here's how to work with them if they are needed, if somebody presents them to you, if you're in a situation where you've got to be able to hear the other person, learn how to work with them. That's it for me on this episode. If you want more of Build a Big Podcast, bigpodcast.com/subscribe, bigpodcast.com/subscribe. Go there right now. 3 buttons, one for Android, one for iPhone, one for an old-fashioned RSS feed. 1 click is all it takes to subscribe and never miss an episode of Build a Big Podcast. So do it. Do it right now before you forget. bigpodcast.com/subscribe. Thank you for listening. I will see you on the next episode.